Hey, how you doing? Arthur Wu here with a review of the Camera Accessory Solutions Spidergrips. These are some awesome hand grips that I came across on a shoot one day where we rented an entire kit and it came with the kit. And I had never heard or used these before until that shoot. And after shooting the entire day with these, I was sold. I had to get a pair of my own. I've used a lot of rigs throughout my shooting career and none of them really just felt right. They were always a little too bulky or not compact enough or not ergonomic enough. But after using these, like I said, I was sold and I had to get a pair. So let's talk a little bit about them. First of all, they are, the unique thing about these is that they support both the 15mm lightweight and the 19mm studio setups. So you can have a really versatile tool where if you're going to different sets, maybe you're shooting something a little lower budget, you might have the 15mm lightweight. You can just throw this onto the rods where you're using the matte box and the follow focus. Or if you're going into a big studio setup and they have the 19mm rods, you can have support for that as well. So depending on your setup, you have options for that, which is really great about these. Not every hand grip system has these. Another thing is that these things are extremely ergonomic and comfortable. I've used other hand rigs that are basically, after shooting for a few hours, it just makes the hands feel really uncomfortable and numb. But these were solid. These foam grips are really nice and comfortable. And let's go ahead and look at them in practice, basically. So we have the 15mm lightweight setup here. The rod system and the base plate for Red Epic here. But you can basically use any base plate and any rod, 15mm lightweight rod setup. And I have a little RE shoulder pad here. So what you can do is you can basically just kind of clip this in. Let's lock it down. And it's super light and super compact. So if you guys have used any of the other shoulder rigs on the market today, some of them are just super bulky and big and heavy, and this is not. This is just extremely light. So I can just kind of throw it on my shoulder there, just kind of, move it around, and the camera's gonna sit on here, and it's gonna be perfectly balanced because it's on the shoulder itself. Now, what you could also do is, another reason why I like these is because it's so ergonomic. You have the ability to change these rosettes on the fly. So if you have your camera system up here, you don't have to put it on the ground, you don't have to readjust or do anything like that. You can actually do it on the fly. So you can actually undo them with your fingers here and then change the angle that you want your hands to be at and then lock them down. And just give it a little nice twist there. And essentially it locks down. It's pretty solid. It's not gonna move. So that's the 15mm lightweight setup. Now, if you're using something a little bit bigger, like the 19mm studio setup, such as what we have right here, got a dovetail plate with the bridge plate and the 19mm rods. It's a little bit heavier system, but it supports larger camera systems. You can actually throw that on there too, as you can see here. We'll lock it down. And boom, you have another shoulder rig for the 19mm studio setup. Now, it's a little heavier, obviously, because you have a lot more metal and weight and materials on here, but it's essentially the same thing. It's still gonna be ergonomic. It's still gonna be lightweight as far as like the grips are concerned. And it's just easy to move around. So comfort's a really big thing for me because I've used a lot of rigs, like I said, in the past. And the reason why I haven't bought a pair of hand grips before is because I haven't really been comfortable enough spending, a good amount of money making myself feel comfortable knowing that it's gonna last me a long time, as well as be comfortable over time. So let's put this down. And then the last thing I love about these grips is check these out. These actually get down into very compact form. So just by switching out the rosettes a little bit here, and look how small this breaks down into. It's a very compact system. And essentially you could throw this into your bag, and it's a very low profile, so that doesn't take up a lot of space. If you want to break it down even further, you could take off this bridge plate here and then dump it into or just have separate compartments for it. But I like keeping it all together. So when you get on set, when you change locations, you automatically have it. You can bring it back into its original form and be ready to go. It only takes, takes less than a minute to reconfigure and get comfortable with. So, aside from that, everything is great about this. Some of you might be wondering, how much this costs. Well, it's $850 US. And for some people who may not be shooting higher budget projects yet, it might be a little steep for the price range. But, as the old saying goes, buy once, cry once. And the reason why I waited so long to buy a pair of hand grips for a studio, or for a shoulder rig setup, I should say, is because I just didn't find the right system yet. But this, to me, was a no-brainer as far as an investment, because not only can it go from a 15mm studio or sorry, 15 millimeter lightweight to 19 millimeter studio, but it also breaks down into this compact form. You have room to grow. You have room to use it for different setups. So it's really versatile. So if you're thinking that you're going to be, right now if you're shooting lower budget projects or just passion projects and you're not spending a lot of money on gear, and you're thinking about investing in a hand grip solution, this is an option, especially if you want to grow into the larger camera systems. So this supports up to like 40 pounds. I'm using mostly rigs that are 35 pounds and less. So this actually works great for the type of work that I do, which is mostly commercial, fashion, beauty, some TV, things like that. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to post them below. And for more reviews and tips, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel and visit arthurwu.com. All right, guys, peace.